It's a woman, and I've been following this story probably over the last week. But again, I didn't want to bring it to the front of the congregation until we had more context, right? And so, as I get more context, I've been able to develop an opinion about it. But it's basically happened in Fort Worth, Texas, and it's a woman that wound up shooting an eighth grader and killing an eighth grader that was trying to break into her home. Let me bring y'all up to speed of what's happening, and then we can have this controversial conversation, and I'm gonna give you my thoughts on it.
Police are investigating after a Fort Worth teen was shot and killed early Thursday morning after allegedly attempting to break into a home in the Rosemont neighborhood. Olivia Leach spoke with the teen's mother, who's pleading for answers tonight.
My son had a lot of dreams and he was so talented. I don't get it.
Fort Worth police say they were called to Southcrest Court in the Rosemont neighborhood of the city early Thursday morning for a call about a prowler. When they got there, a woman told them several people were attempting to break into her home, but they had left the scene. Shortly after, police got a second 911 call from the woman who said the burglars came back. But when police returned to the scene, they found Latoya Lander's 14-year-old son, Devin Baker, lying on the ground in front of the home with a gunshot wound to the torso. Police say the woman who had reported the break-ins shot him. He died on scene.
It's like I'm in a dream. Because I'm looking at all the things he have at home. And I have to drive by where my son laid.
Tonight, Devin's family and friends came together to honor him at a balloon release outside of Rosemont Middle School, where he was an eighth grader.
And son, I'll see you again. I love you so much.
But his family says there has to be more to the story.
No, I know my child. I know him. I know him, and it doesn't add up.
Latoya says she wants more answers from police.
I feel like they need to dig deeper, because I know it's something else happened that caused my son's demise.
Detectives say the woman who shot the teen had reported break-ins and attempted break-ins at her home before, and that she is cooperating with the investigation, but no one has been arrested.
I feel like it's very wrong. He had so many dreams. My son was not a criminal.
In a letter to the Rosemont Middle School community, school officials extended their sympathy to the family and said their hearts were heavy after learning of the death of a Rosemont student. Additional counseling was made available for any students who needed extra support.
Let me rewind this because I'm gonna play a second clip from the perspective of the woman that shot him. Okay. And I want to make sure that I'm being very sensitive to what's going on out here in these streets. But I'm going to rewind this because I want to give you the initial impact of when I seen this. And this is something that happens in a culture on a regular basis, okay?
Teen's mother, who's pleading for answers tonight.
My son had a lot of dreams and he was so talented. I don't get it.
Fort Worth police say they were called to Southcrest Court in the Rose.
What don't you get, ma'am? I'm going to play the mother's reaction one more time.
Because I'm looking at all the things he have at home. And I have to drive by where my son laid.
Tonight, Devin's family and friends came together to honor him at a balloon release outside of Rosemont Middle School, where he was an eighth grader.
And son, I'll see you again. I love you so much.
But his family says there has to be more to the story.
No, I know my child. I know him. I know him, and it doesn't add up.
What doesn't it add up to? What don't it add up to? Police investigated. He was breaking into somebody else's home. And what? Okay, so here's the thing. Let's start with point A because I'm going to be sensitive about this. It's Christmas. I'm a nice guy, right? Where is the father? I keep telling y'all that amongst the top 3 things that is wrong in this country, and I'm going to say it again, Homelessness, open borders, fatherless homes. Where is this boy's father? How come every single time I've done 249 live streams on the Millionaire Morning Show this year, I have not missed a day. Not one day, not one live stream have I missed. Of the 249 live streams that I can remember on this channel, of all of the tragedies that I've seen happen and of all of the parents that have come up here, the only one that I seen, the only parent that I seen that I remember, father, it was both a mother and a father in a picture in order to justify or to have a conversation about what happened to their child, was Carly Russell. And the father on that one was being led by the mother, and he was obviously a simp because he was looking like a deer in headlights. You know who Carly Russell is? Carly Russell is the one that said that she seen a white baby walking along the streets of Alabama and late at night, and then she wound up lying, and so now she being prosecuted. That's the only time that I can remember out of 249 live streams and counting this year alone. Monday through Friday, I have not missed one. Not missed one. Of the 249 live streams that I've done, I have not seen one person, not one family of a child, and that is the one child that wasn't killed. I haven't seen one of a kid where you have both a mother and a father in the picture talking about what's happening. Number two, they always talk about how great their kid was. Then how come you didn't know that they was breaking into somebody else's house? What else is there to investigate? You can't be crawling into somebody else's house on the side of the road or in a completely different community and keep telling me about how you didn't know what was. What are you talking about? I'm going to see you again. You should have seen him then. If he had some structure in his life, if he had got discipline in his life, if we had seen both a mother and a father in this picture and not a broken home, it's a strong possibility he would still be alive. At what point do we stop blaming the person that defends themselves and we start calling it exactly what it is straight down the line? And in other news, how do we not hold the mother accountable? Listen, if they're gonna do an investigation, if the police is gonna do an investigation, I call for them to do a full investigation. And the full investigation is they need to investigate the mother too. Just last week, we was looking at a story from Chicago where a little girl got choked up. A 14, 15-year-old girl got choked up after her mother knew that she was talking to a 24-year-old man. And she called the mama and said, "Mama, can you come and pick me up?" And then the mama is still having other kids, wasn't a father in the picture. And then what happened was the guy wound up killing the girl. What is a 15-year-old doing talking to a 24-year-old man? What is a 14, 15-year-old boy doing crawling in and doing break-ins in another woman's home? Let's go over to the woman that they trying to hold accountable for defending her home. Let's see what she got to say.
A Fort Worth woman who shot and killed a teenager she says was breaking into her rental home told us today how the incident has changed her life. Police have not filed charges for the shooting, and they plan to submit the case for a grand jury review. Aaliyah Wallace talked exclusively with Fox 4's Sean Rabb, who joins us now live. Sean.
Leah Wallace bought a gun to protect herself and her family, she tells me, after a rash of break-ins in her apartment. Those happened while she and her family were not at home. But on December 14th, twice that day, while she was home with her kids, someone tried to get in.
I was cleaning my living room, sweeping my floor, and I heard her window start going back up. So I went and I looked in the hallway, and I could see him standing at the window lifting it up, and I just shot.
Gunshots that killed 4.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. When you see a grown man coming into the window with Christmas decorations on it, and your house done been broken into multiple different times. Now, I'm not gonna victim shame on this one, but I don't see no father in the picture of this one. Do y'all realize that this is woman on woman crime right here? This is woman on woman crime right here. And I'm not talking about the woman that shot. I'm talking about the one that raised the boy that ultimately was crawling, and the woman that had to defend her home. Do y'all realize that all of these are fatherless homes that we see in every single clip that's on here? You raised a menace that's now breaking into somebody else's home, and he messed around and found out. No fathers nowhere. I don't know if they just decided not to be on camera. I have no idea what the heck is going on. But you crawling into a little kid's room, breaking in the crib. What did you think was going to happen? You thought that they was going to give you a pat on the back, that they was going to hold you down, that they was going to have a conversation with you. What do you think is going to happen? Shout out to the super chats. I'm going to read those shortly.
14-year-old Devin Baker at the bedroom window of Aaliyah Wallace's 8-year-old daughter early morning, December 14th.
It's bothering me that he was a kid.
The incident happened not long after police left Wallace's home after responding to her 911 call about someone trying to break into her duplex.
So I called him at 1:22 a.m. We talked for like 30 minutes. They did a report, took pictures of everything, and then they left.
I believe there were reports that you had been burglarized or attempted burglaries before.
Yes, I have like 3 or 4 police reports before this night.
So
at what point do we start calling criminals instead of calling them good citizens of America? And we don't know what happened, and they need to investigate people defending their homes. I don't blame this woman one bit. And she got good hair. I don't know if that's a wig. I don't know if it's a weave. But this woman seems scared out of her mind. And she very much, in my opinion, should have the right to be able to defend her household and her little kids as somebody is crawling in the window in order to commit a crime against them. What the heck is going on?
what has happened since this incident?
The apartment called and told me that I was not supposed to have a gun at all, even though I kept calling them and telling them somebody was breaking in. They told me I could not have a gun and that I have 30 days to vacate.
And how does that make you feel?
Wow.
Feel like I'm back at square one.
So now she being evicted from the apartment that she was at because she actually defended her family from God knows what. I would actually give to her GoFundMe. Just because I don't agree with how she's being treated. I don't agree that the people that are abiding by the laws of the United States of America and trying to prevent themselves from being taken advantage of should be held accountable for something that somebody else did against them.
There for 6 years, so now I don't know what to do.
This case is going to the grand jury. It's a referral, as they call it, and they're going to let citizens decide. What do you want people to know about you, Aaliyah Wallace?
That I was only protecting my kids.
Now her case has got to go to a grand jury, and the citizens are. This is wrong. The citizens are going to decide her fate. What is going on? Even in Texas? And the good Lone Star state of Texas? This is going to a grand jury as a result of referral, and they're going to decide her fate. Because you couldn't get your kid under control and it was crawling into my daughter's window. I just want y'all to be aware of what's happening out here in these streets. I want you to be aware of what's going on. I want you to know that you are not, when I say that you are not safe, when somebody else raises their kid to be a criminal, you now have to pay the price for that. When somebody else raises their children to be criminals, you have to pay the price for it with your tax dollars, imprisoning, rehabilitation, social services, everything. And now when they releasing balloons into the air in his honor, you got to defend yourself from being evicted in your freedom.